Down with me, you down with me, down with me. I got a crowd wrapping round the whole town for me. They mama proud, got 1,000 in the balcony. Nah, I don't hear no clown talking foul on me.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of What Are the Odds podcast. It's your host JMX and my co-host Ryan. Hey, man, look, free agency is lurking. We got a lot of big NFL news to go over. We're gonna talk about the NBA briefly too. But hey, man, look, before we jump into all this news and all this crazy stuff that's about to happen, Ryan, man, how you doing?
Man, I'm chilling. I'm still, I don't know what's going on. I'm still a little sick, so pardon my voice. But yeah, I'm chilling. I'm excited for DK to be a Steeler, and yeah, it's about it. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I'm just excited for free agency. Hey, look, for all my Invincible fans who watch the pod, man. Hey, man, it's a rough scene right now for us. You know what I'm saying? But uh, I ain't gonna lie. I watched that episode this morning. She still got me messed up. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm doing good. I can't complain, man. I'm blessed. But yeah, this NFL, man, this free agency stuff, all these seem like really one position just getting moved like crazy is wide receiver, which I'm all here for because hey, look, I'm not gonna complain because when you got one position team need desperately, because look, Lil Jordan Humphrey, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still having like flashbacks and being haunted by that. So hey, we got a lot to talk about. But yeah, let's really jump right into it. I don't think we talked about the Joe Thuney trade the last episode, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Joe Thuney got traded to the Chicago Bears randomly. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I do want to talk about this real quick. Isn't it strange how two kind of really good offensive linemen got traded to the Bears, like randomly, like like kind of weirdly? But I mean, I won't go too deep into it, but I just feel like Joe Thuney is one of the better offensive linemen in the league. The Chiefs were putting him at tackle, and the dude was a guard, and he was still playing at an extremely high level. And the other guy didn't they get Jonah Jackson? Yeah. So the Bears, hey, look, Ben Johnson got over and said, look, the first thing we gonna address to fix is this offensive line, and they're doing that. And they're talking about getting the center from Atlanta, who's a free agent. But yeah, man, what's your thoughts on Chicago basically going all out to address the offensive line and like they're not done. Like they're talking about offering Drew Dahlman, the center from Atlanta, like too. So what's your thoughts on the Bears?
Yeah, no, I mean, kind of like we was talking about last season about how they couldn't block anybody, and it's nice for them to kind of get some help on the offensive line to really see what Caleb has. And I mean, we also had been seeing what Ben Johnson, what he did in Detroit, and I mean they had arguably one of the best offensive lines in football. So I mean, you need that front five to really get anything going in the pass game and the run game. So I mean, I like it for both. I don't really know about the Chiefs so much, but I like it for the Bears. I like it for the Bears. How about yourself?
I like it. I mean, I think when you get a head coaching job, and I don't really know, I'm not gonna say I know everything about being a head coach because I don't really know. I've never been a head coach, but I mean, typically the recipe for success has been to address the offensive line and the defensive line. You want to be good in the trenches, or at least be good in one part of the trenches. And the Bears just weren't good in the trenches last year. So I think going out getting a guard in Joe Thuney, getting another guard in Jonah Jackson. Yeah, Jonah Jackson's a guard, right? Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, so like hey man, getting those two guys, and then obviously if they are able to land, I think that I said the dude's name earlier, Drew, I think it's Drew Dahlman. Yeah, the guy from Atlanta. If they are able to land him, then you basically got the interior of that offensive line, pretty much shirt up. And you still got the young guy in Darnell Wright at the right tackle. You got Braxton Jones at the left tackle, but we'll see what they do as far as left tackle. But they might just stick with Braxton Jones. But I think that was the main thing that was the question mark heading into last year for them. And I was the offensive line. And I think coming out of the year, that was the biggest fix for them was the offensive line. They're obviously going to be aggressive. Probably they might draft Ashton Genty, go after receivers that are going to be in the market. Receivers are going to get into a little bit later. But I mean, overall, I think these are the moves you needed to make. I mean, you saw, hey, look, when Sean first came to Denver, what was like the first moves he made? He brought in Mike McGlinchey. He brought in Ben Powers. I mean, you got to address this offensive line first, especially with a young quarterback, because if they don't have time to throw the ball, they don't have time to develop. So,
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, again, I think offensive line is the most important group in football. So, I mean, if you have no offensive line, you're not going to be able to block anybody. I mean, we've seen it countless amount of times. Offensive line it's the most important part of football.
facts. But yeah, going on to another guy that got traded. Today, Christian Kirk, the Jacksonville Jaguars traded him. First, they said he was going to be released. The last second, the Texans swooped in like they did last year with the Bengals to get Joe Mixon. This year, it was Christian Kirk. Jacksonville decided that they wanted to get something for him at the last second. The Texans said they're willing to pay all of his $15 million salary, which really isn't too crazy. The only kicker is, Christian Kirk is coming off I think it was torn ACL. So he's coming off that season in an injury. But I like this move for Houston. You were talking about before the episode. I don't really like the fact of, trading within the division. I don't know if you saw, but Josh Allen kind of put a tweet out before the game. I mean, I said before the game. After the trade, my fault. I got NBA on the brain. He made a tweet after the trade and was like, why did we do this? Like, I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I don't care, we were trading Cortland Sutton and we were like, man, we need to get some for him, and the Raiders are like, we'll give you a 7th round pick. I'm not trading him to no division rival. That's just not what you do. I would rather I would rather get nothing than take a 7th round pick from your division rival, trading a good quality player. Like, you don't want to be the cause of that. Like, if he leaves and go to the Texans, it's fine. But I mean, to send him there is just kind of like, damn. Like, but I mean, hey, he is the perfect Tank Dell replacement. Like, if he can come back to exactly what he was, or even 90% of what he was before the injury, he's the perfect Tank Dell replacement. But what are your thoughts on the Christian Kirk to Houston trade?
Yeah, I mean, I like it for Houston. Like you kind of hinted at, Dell's going to be out for the rest of the season or the remainder of the next season. We have no idea if Stephon will be back or not. It's looking like he probably won't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Kirk is a great guy. I mean, I wouldn't mind him on the Steelers.
This man want everybody in Pittsburgh.
I need somebody. Somebody okay at football in the Steelers. But I mean, yeah. I mean, I like it for Houston. Gives CJ another weapon to kind of work with, especially a veteran. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, and also going on to basically contract extensions. Saquon, Philadelphia gave him a 2-year extension. I think it's $20 or $21 million a year. Zach Bond got a 3-year, $51 million extension, and Max Crosby got a 3-year, I think 106. Yeah, it was 3-year, $106 million, right? Wasn't that the deal? 3-year, 106.
I don't know. All I know is it's like the highest paid contract, non-quarterback contract in NFL history.
Yeah, it was 3-year. Yeah. It was 3-year, 106.5. Yeah, making NFL's highest paid non-quarterback. I was fine with all three of these. I think the Zach Bond one was maybe a little. They gave him a lot, but I will say, I mean, hey, he's coming off an All-Pro year. He's gonna stay within that system. He's gonna stay with Vic Fangio. And you're playing with a lot of great players around you, so I think it's an okay deal for them. I do think he won't be on the team for the length of the 3 years that they gave him. No, I think he'll probably be gone after the second year. But Saquon just deserved that decision outright. And Max Crosby to me is the second best defensive player in football. That's just my opinion. I think you got him and Pat. I mean, just the way he impacts every single play of the game, in the pass, in the run. I mean, he's a dog, bro, and he deserves to get this money. Now, with this, I don't think he finishes his contract with the Raiders. I just don't think so. But, hey, look, I'm not mad at him for taking the money at all. Shout out to him for taking this money. But, yeah, I was fine with all these extensions. Oh, yeah, and Bobby Wagner got a 1-year, $10 million as well. But I already knew he was going to stay there. But what's your thoughts on all these extensions?
I mean, I kind of thought they got Bond at a good value. To be honest, I'm pretty sure it's only like $34 million guaranteed or something like that. I mean, for the production that he had this past season, I mean, he was playing like one of the best linebackers in football. So I mean, if they can get that out of him season after season, I mean, I think he'd be worth the contract. Same thing with Saquon. I mean, he's kind of the whole narrative around not being able to pay or you shouldn't be paying running backs. He just kind of threw that out the window. Granted, he a generational type running back. Like it's not like he's just an average, okay, great, okay running back. He's an elite running back. So I mean, he deserved it. And then Crosby, I'm similar with you. He's one of the best players in football, and yeah, I mean he deserves it. All I know is now, like you have to be committed to the Raiders for the next at least a couple of years. Like there'd been a lot of reports about him kind of wanting out or possibly going somewhere else. Obviously, we don't know
Yeah.
if those are all true, but
He has to be, yeah, because he's gonna have to play this season at least.
yeah,
So
there can't be any more rumors about how. And again, it couldn't even be his fault. It could just be the media making shit up. But there can't be any more like, man, he might want out of Vegas, you know. So I mean, again, they all deserve their money. They're all pro, great players. So shout out to all of them.
he's still 27, so he can give
Hmm.
them like one more year, and then I think if they have another losing season, I think he's out of there. That's just me though. But yeah, I agree. But yeah, going on to a few guys which that got released. We can go talk about them real quick. I mean, last episode we talked about Devontae, so um, let's really just get into the guys we didn't talk about. Starting off with Darius Slay. Um, I think it's interesting with him because they did the same thing. Was that last offseason? I think it was when they
Yeah,
released. I honestly think he'll be back. I think they're gonna bring him back on like a little shorter deal. But Philly did release him. Tyler Lockett. It was sad, man, seeing Tyler Lockett get cut like that. I'm not gonna lie, it was sad, but I mean, we all saw it coming when they just basically stopped. They gave JSN all of his plays. Well, like all of the a lot of his catches went to JSN, bro. Like you kind of saw him fade out of that offense, especially like after like towards the middle, starting at the middle and finishing the season, he got faded out that offense. So the writing was on the wall there. The writing was on the wall there. And then another long time player on the front on their team, Joey Bosa. He got cut. Now I wasn't surprised by that. But it's looking like San Francisco for him. It's looking like the Raiders for Tyler Lockett. But what are your thoughts on all those guys, and what do you think those guys could basically wind up?
yeah. I mean, I think for Slay, I agree with you. I think he's either gonna be back in Philly, or I could low key see him being back in Detroit. Um, Lockett again, I agree with you as well. I remember watching Lockett play like his first preseason game. I think it was his first preseason game. He like returned a punt. I believe it was on you guys. I think. I'm pretty sure it was on you
Probably.
guys. And I remember I was just like, man, he's kind of fast. He's kind of nice. And after that, I mean, it was just obviously he's a really good player. And the same thing with Bosa. I think Bosa's like for sure the most confident I am in any of these predictions for anybody to go anywhere. I think he for sure going to the 49ers. You know, like again, they can all provide a solid impact on any team that they go to. I mean, I don't know. I still do think Locke is a solid, good receiver. I think, especially if Russ goes to Vegas,
Well, they saying they don't want him.
yeah, we don't want him either. So,
Let that man go to the Raiders.
yeah, I mean, he torture y'all's ass 2 times a
You sound
year.
crazy.
But no, I mean, I think Slay's either gonna go to Philly or go to Detroit or stay in Philly, I should say. Um, Lockett, yeah, I could see him going to the Raiders, or kind of anywhere Russ goes. I can kind of see that. And then Bosa for sure. I think he's going to the 49ers, like for sure.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think he'll go there on a pretty discounted deal. I think I said on my story. Somebody asked me today, where did I think he would wind up? Um, yeah, like I think it'll be like around 2 years and 10 million a year. I should have said 2 years, 10 million a year on my story. I said 2 years, 10 million. I meant to say 2 year, 10 billion a year. Like, but yeah, I think it's gonna be somewhere around that, like 10 million a year, about 2 year, 20 mil in total. Cause I mean, we got to think about it though. Like, they're not gonna pay him no top dollar. Like, he's injury prone, bro. Like, he does not play a lot of games. And going to San Francisco, yeah, he's gonna be in, not the rotation, but I'm not finna dedicate anything over $20 million a year for no Joey Bosa. But that just is what it is. But yeah, I think he winds up there. I think Slay winds up back in Philly. If Slay doesn't go back to Philly, I think Detroit is kind of the perfect spot for him. They need veteran leadership in that secondary room, and they could use a guy like Darius Slay. Tyler Lockett, if not the Raiders, I really don't know the best spot for him. I think he can go anywhere. I think Buffalo. Well, no, not even Buffalo. They got Khalil Shakir. Um, it's tough, man, because you gotta go to a lot of teams who need the kind of slot position that he provides. I could honestly see. mm, Maybe Cincinnati, I think, could be a good spot for him, but we just have to see with Tyler Lockett. I don't think he's going to be a first wave signing type guy. I think he'll be later on. But speaking about Cincinnati, let's jump into this. They tagged T. Higgins. I don't think we ever talked about that. T. Higgins got tagged, and then Trey Hendrickson today requested a trade. That he basically said he's done in Cincinnati, that he's been trying to work out a contract extension for the past 2 years, I think it was, and just weren't able to come to an agreement. And the Bengals granted him permission to seek a trade. He requested the trade too. So both sides have obviously agreed that they're going to move on. And I'm not going to lie to you. I think they said the first team that was really reported on it was the Falcons. Matthew Judon is heading into free agency, and you know how aggressive they were last year in the pretty much fixing their defense. But he wants the bag, and he deserves the bag. He deserves over $20 million a year, somewhere around that $24 to $25 million a year range. I mean, he's been the leading sack leader, I think, two times now. I don't know. I don't know
For
if it's
sure
been back to
one.
back.
For sure this
Yeah,
year.
yeah. I mean, but like he's been consistent. He's been all world. And the thing about him, he's 30, so he still has about 2 years of playing at this high level. So I think definitely it's gonna be teams with a lot of cap space. I could see a team like New England going after him. I could see a team like the Commanders making a move to get him, which I think would be dangerous. Like I think if Philly were to get Myles Garrett, then Trey Hendrickson would be the guy to go to Washington, which I think would be huge, especially with them possibly getting off of Jonathan Allen. And the other team, I guess people talking about the Bears. I don't know. I don't know too much about the Bears situation. Honestly, to say I think they'll trade and pay a 30-year-old Trey Henderson. I just don't think that's a smart move for their team. But I mean, he's gonna have a lot of suitors. I think contenders are gonna be lining up to get him. I do want to say one sleeper team I think will be Green Bay, because they need some. Green Bay needs some pass rush help, and I definitely think Trey Henderson fits them, and that'd be a great gift for those guys. But the Bears, like the Chargers, like I know people saying the Eagles, like I would say the Eagles if they don't get Myles Garrett, if they somehow don't get Myles Garrett, but what spots do you think Trey Henderson is gonna go to? Like,
Yeah. See, man, I can't lie. This is the one guy I have no idea where this dude gonna go. Like I got,
because he go anywhere.
yeah. Um, I mean, I think Atlanta would be a solid spot for him. Like you said, Green Bay would be an okay spot for him as well. I've been hearing stuff about maybe even Indy. Dude, I got no idea. I really don't. I think it's really just about whoever's going to give up the most draft capital to get him, and whoever would pay him. I really do think he'll get paid in that rough, as if you think it's fair or not, the Max Crosby range that we just saw. I know TJ's talking about getting an extension. I know Myles Garrett been talking about wanting to get paid. If it's fair or not, I just think that's the price.
35? I don't think.
I'm not gonna say he can get 35, but like, I mean, that's the price range that he's set. That gets set. I low-key think that's also
he gets
why
25 to 30, between 25 to 30. I think is what he'll get.
I low-key think that's also why, since he kind of moved on. I mean, they saw what Max Crosby got paid. And I mean, again, you saw someone at this essentially the same position as you get paid that amount of money, and I mean,
and you had it's like, well, statistically, he had a better year.
Yeah,
he's coming off of 2 17.5 sack seasons.
It's like, if you think it's fair or not, I do think he'll get paid roughly in that range. I don't know if he'll get the exact amount of that Crosby got, but I mean, again, the price is only going to go up. It's like seeing an elite receiver get paid. It's like what another elite receiver that might not be as good as that guy, but they're going to get paid even more. That's why last year you saw Jefferson and CD was waiting for Jefferson to get paid. All right, Jefferson got this. All right, bro. Like I might not get Jefferson money, but I'm gonna need something around there, you know. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets paid, especially if like again like a desperate shooter kind of essentially just want to go all in, and depending on how much draft capital they give up, they might say fuck it, here you go. So
Yeah. Yeah,
I
and
I really have no idea where Trey gonna go, like at all. I got no
yeah,
idea.
yeah. I think it's a lot of teams, but one thing I do want to get into, the Bengals are just Ocho said it best. They cheat, bro. This is unacceptable. You have had multiple off seasons to get your main guys locked up, and you just have not been able to do it. T. Higgins, we don't know what's going to happen with him. You didn't tag him now twice, and you still haven't paid Jamar. You would think, like, when you franchise tag someone, it buys you time on to come up with a game plan and to figure out how you can pay them, if you're going to pay them, or what you're going to do. And the Bengals just have not made progress on any of this. And we thought, and they said at the beginning of the season, we're going to pay our guys. And it is just went, you franchise tag T. Jamar and them said that they're far apart on negotiations. The Bengals submitted their offer to Jamar Chase, and they said they're far apart on negotiations. And Trey Hendrickson, he's out, basically gone. So, like, I mean, for the Bengals, you want to, and Sam Hubbard retired too. So, and BJ Hill's a free agent. So, we're talking about this whole defensive line, which is really the only strong suit of your defense, literally getting gutted, and you're starting from scratch. So, the only good thing that the Bengals have to their advantage that they can say is that, well, we're going to start, we're going to have this money, which it's like, yeah, but at what cost though? Like, you want to have good quality players, and you have the arguably the best players at their positions. Trey Hendrickson was arguably the best pass rusher last year. Jamar Chase was arguably the best receiver last year. T. Higgins was arguably the best wide receiver too last year. I mean, we're talking about, these are the premium guys at their position, and you got to pay them whether you like it or not. And hey, look, they didn't do it, and the Bengals, it's just bad. Like, you can't not just like build around Joe Burrow and just let star players. And I get it, Trey Henderson is 30, but like 2 7 back-to-back 17 and a half sack seasons. You would think after the first one, like, hey, let's lock this guy up now before someone comes along and resets this market. You know what I'm saying? And that's just kind of where the Bengals just messed up at. They keep waiting. They're kind of like the Cowboys, just wait and wait and wait. And now you got to pay them the most insane top dollar price. And hey, man, but I would say about Trey Henderson, though, he's probably gonna go somewhere to like Atlanta. They're gonna give him the bag, and he's gonna have good quality seasons. And he just probably won't be contending. I do hope he goes to a contender though, but yeah, Jordan Fultz. I said Jordan Fultz. Jordan Schultz said the Falcons, and also the Commanders have been monitoring the Trey Henderson situation. So I kind of hit on the money with the Commanders. We'll see. But the Bengals are just in shambles right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
bro.
man.
It's bad over there.
You can't feel bad for what's gonna happen to the Bengals next year when their defense giving up 40 a game.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be worse.
Yeah, it's like I mean, it's exactly what they asking for. And it's like the last like 3 free agencies, they just kind of essentially let their best talent either walk, or obviously now they're gonna try trading with
Just leave.
Jesse Bates, what's his name,
Walk for nothing.
yeah, DJ Reader, I'm pretty sure they let him walk for nothing too. It's like
Jermaine Pratt is on his way out too.
I just don't get it. Like I don't understand. Like I don't know, I mean, shout out to the Bengals. Shout out to the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting because it's like, if the Chiefs can figure out how to pay Mahomes, Kelsey, and Chris Jones, you can figure out how to pay your guys. You got to pay them, bro. Like, my thing is, it's like also you're drafting, like, you had Joe Mixon on a good deal, you let him go. Like, you feel what I'm saying? It's like little moves like that to me, it don't make sense. Like, yeah, you can draft receivers. I'm not even saying keep T. Higgins, but you don't let Trey Hendrickson leave. You don't let the one guy you got defensively that can make any type of play leave, because now, and it's not like the Bengals are swimming in money. That's the thing too. It's like, bro, you have to pay. You got to reset the receiver market now, because whether they like it or not, Jamar Chase, he wants to be the highest paid receiver. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this is the Bengals' fault, because you could have paid him before Justin Jefferson got his money. You didn't do it. So, and then not to mention, you're not even gonna have that much cap space, because guess what? T. Higgins is on that tag. See what I'm saying? I mean, I just, the Bengals, and the thing is though, it's not like they're broke. Like they don't have, top cap space money like the Patriots do. The Commanders did, you know what I'm saying, before they traded for Debo. You got the Chargers, they're up there now, but the Bengals aren't that far down. They're being cheap. Like, come on, bro. Pay that man Trey Hendrickson, bro. Like, pay T. Higgins, pay Jamar. Like, it's tough, but like you said, hey, look, if they want to give up 40 a game, go ahead and give up 40 a game because now the defensive line is shot. If you can't bring back any of them, Sam Hubbard's retired, BJ Hill's a free agent, Trey Henderson's leaving.
Yeah, they're going to have to draft. I mean, granted, you can say that about any team, but they're going to have to draft extremely well, especially on the defensive side. It's
You got to draft like 5 defensive players.
Eventually, I do wonder when Burrow is just going to kind of get fed up with it and just be like, man.
Yeah.
Like I can only do so much,
And the thing is, though, and let me tell you what doesn't make sense is that you got $50 million in cap space right now, but you don't have an offensive line and you don't have a defense. How? How is that possible? How do you not have those key components? You got all this cap space, but yet you don't have the net. You don't even have 2 forwards. You only got half the stuff you need to contend. Quarterbacks and wide receivers. You don't got you don't have a defense. You don't have an offensive line. You don't have nothing. You just got Joe Burrow and Jamar and T. That's all you got. And it's like, bro, you're not gonna win like that. We saw that this year. You can get Joe Burrow's gonna have you sniffing the playoffs, but I mean, like, what do you think is gonna happen? Like, when you got to put up 30, 40
to be elite too.
Yeah, he can't make mistakes. Like they were getting on him for making a few mistakes. Like his margin for error is already little to none. He throw a pick, it's over with. They probably gonna lose the game. And this is for almost 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. One turnover, he lose the game, which is crazy. But yeah, man, I don't know what the Bengals got going on. Hopefully they'll be aggressive free agency. If they do, hopefully, look, if you get off Trey Hendrickson, you hopefully get between a day 2 and a day 3 pick. You get that, free up some cap off your books. Hopefully you can go younger, have a strong free agency defensively, and draft offensive line in the first round. Please just do that for Joe Burrow. Like they don't need to take nothing else in the first round besides tackle or guard. Like your best offensive lineman is what? Orlando Brown. Like go out there and get you an offensive line for this man, Joe Burrow. But yeah, moving on to another guy that requested a trade today. DK Metcalf. Well, no, I don't think that was today. I think that was, yes, whatever day it was. But DK Metcalf requested a trade today. Saying whatever. He requested a trade. DK. Now, this is interesting because Seattle wants a first and a third. Now, I don't know what you think about that, but Seattle's out there, man, that they think a team finna give up a first and a third for DK. They want AJ Brown somewhat compensation. You're not getting a first round pick for DK. That's just, I don't know who told them that they would get that. I mean, unless you're like what, Buffalo? I mean, if you're Buffalo, I do it. If you're KC, I do it. But like, I'm not. But like, if you a team sitting at like 22, are you coming off your first and third round pick for DK? Nah, bro. Like I saw somebody saying, man, what if you draft a Meke Buka in the first round and Trevion Henderson in the third, or you draft Cam Scatterable in the third? Are you giving up both of them players for DK? And he answers essentially like, nah, bro, you don't. So yeah. So, what you think about the whole DK situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think 31 teams should be calling about him, and I do think he an elite receiver. Obviously, he has his struggles from time to time. But yeah, I mean, there's so many teams that could use him. Shit, both of our teams could use him.
I definitely think it should be around that 30 range. Yeah. I feel like if you're picking around 20, I don't know. Like it's just tough. Like I think Green Bay. If I'm Green Bay, I give up my first round pick for DK.
Yeah, it's all about where the pick is for real. I don't know. I mean, again, DK can he can fit anywhere. He's an elite receiver. I know a lot of people don't like him, but
yeah, because Green Bay's got the 23rd pick. If you're the Texans, would you give up pick 25 for DK?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Baltimore pick 27.
Yeah, I think him in Baltimore would be disgusting. I think him in Baltimore would be disgusting. Him in Buffalo would be disgusting. Him in
KC.
KC would be disgusting. Him in KC would be disgusting.
I
Yeah.
hope they don't trade him to Philly. That's all I hope. I hope
No,
they
no
don't send him
shot.
over there.
No shot. No shot. He goes to hell no.
I hope they don't do no shit and like trade that man. But I will say I don't think DK gets traded. They've already been saying that they're gonna ride it out to the draft but they want him to play this last year out on his contract and then they'll see what they can get maybe during the season. But I just don't know if a team's gonna come off that asking price of a first or a third, or hell, even a second and a third. I just don't see a team doing it. I could see a team just giving up their first round pick, just like me and you talked about those same group of teams. But I don't really see a team like Denver or a team like Pittsburgh sitting at 20 and 21, like willing to give up. Yeah. Yeah. Denver and Pittsburgh, they have more needs. They have a lot of needs to be a first and a third round pick for a wide receiver. That's not named Justin Jefferson, CD Lamb, or Jamar Chase. Or that's really it. I'm not coming off of I don't know. I'm maybe missing somebody or whatever, but those type of caliber wide receivers I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's their asking price. I don't think they're gonna get it, but
They try
yeah.
to fleece.
I mean, hey, I mean, you want to go with your highest price, you know. I mean, I don't blame you for putting that shit out of yeah, we want a first and a third. I wouldn't be surprised if you went for like a second, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, again, he's a great player. He's amazing. He's great. So again, I wouldn't mind him on the Steelers. I think that'd be a great fit for him. I think the Chargers would be a good fit for him. I mean, again, you can name, I think, blank and insert 90% of teams would be a great fit for him. So, yeah, it would be interesting to want to see. I do think he gets traded. I think he gets traded. I just don't know where, you know, and what for. I mean, I guess that's most people, but yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, but moving on to another guy that's in trade talk, but they're saying they're probably gonna have to cut him is Cooper Kupp. I'm not surprised by this. I didn't really see nobody really trading for him, honestly. Like, not saying I don't think nobody should get him, but I just really think seeing nobody to trade for him. I think I think these guys are gonna get cut and will get picked up because nobody's gonna pay Cooper Kupp that money, or nobody's gonna give up draft compensation and pay Cooper Kupp that. Like, I didn't think nobody was gonna do that. Now, in terms of where I think he will go, because I don't think they're gonna keep him. I know they're saying that there's a small chance, but I don't think they're keeping Cooper Kupp. I honestly think, and it's not even no bias. I think it's two spots that kind of make the most sense to me, and that's Denver, number one, and Baltimore, number two. I don't really see I think Denver is the fit because the blocking, you can get him on a cheap deal. He's perfect for the Sean Payton offense. He'd be the perfect receiver for a Bo Nix. Like the absolute perfect receiver for a Bo Nix. Um, like I said, from a blocking standpoint, the veteran leadership, kind of what we need. He wouldn't be like a long-term fix, but he can help. He can definitely make plays for you now and help this room out now. And you don't have to, like I said, sign in for the long term. You can still go out and get a wide receiver in the third round too. And I like the Ravens too because it's the same thing for them. It's not a long-term fix, but can you imagine Cooper Kupp with the Baltimore Ravens? Because I remember when they were talking about trading him last year, me and you were both on the like Cooper Kupp to Baltimore train. And I think another dark horse team will probably be Cincinnati. I think if they do end up moving T. Higgins, I think Cooper Kupp would be probably the perfect replacement if you want to put him next to Jamar Chase. But yeah, I mean, it's looking like he's gonna get cut. And I'm not gonna lie, he gets cut, bro. This free agency wide receiver class is just, I mean, it's gonna be nuts, bro. It's nuts. Like, not to mention all the guys in the trade market.
Yeah, I could also see again. I think the Chargers are gonna get one of those, like one of those guys. You know,
I hope they don't get nobody.
I think they will. I think they will. I also do
think they get Devontae.
I mean, he'd be nice too. I think Cooper Kupp would be a good fit for him. Like exactly like you said, he a great blocker. You know, Harbaugh loves that shit. Yeah, I mean, I think he'd be a good fit for the Chargers. I do think he'd be a good fit for you guys as well. I think again, like you said with Baltimore, I think he'd be a great fit for Baltimore too. Um, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. His contract's so big, especially for his production. Um, I can't see anybody actually trying to trade him. Trade for him. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and they were also talking about that the Rams would eat up some of his contract, and I'm like, I rather just take my chances in free agency because your Cooper Cup is probably gonna only get what you say. I would say maybe 10 to 12 million a year in free agency. I don't think the market value for him is gonna be anything over $13 million a year. I think that's the max teams will go to pay him. But yeah, I think that's pretty much most of the. Oh, I mean, we ain't talked about. Yeah, Sam Donald's going to be hitting the market. You can talk about Sam Donald for a little bit. I don't know where he gonna go. I know they were saying that him and Minnesota are talking about possibly, what I'm saying, getting him back on some type of short term deal. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think the Raiders are gonna throw the bag at him. What do you think?
Yeah, my fault, bro. LeBron just tied this shit up 96-96. Nah, I
Oh my
think
god.
I do think Sam Darnold is gonna get a fucking bag from someone. I have no idea who it will be. I think the Raiders will be a good team for him. But I don't know. I look. You think that Shador is probably gonna go to the Raiders. Obviously, we'll get into that a little bit later. Probably a couple episodes from now. But I think the Raiders are gonna make a jump and trade for him, or at least trade you know what I'm saying, like trade up to get Shador. I know they had pick 6, but fuck it, whatever. Um, I don't know. I have no idea where he's gonna go. I low-key thought he was gonna get tagged. I thought the Vikings were gonna tag him and just roll with him, but I don't know. I mean, it's gonna if he's in Pittsburgh, bro.
Yes, man.
I've seen reports and shit like that they were talking about him possibly signing in Pittsburgh. It's
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful. He definitely benefited from the weapons he had around him. I think
Mm-hmm.
everyone can admit that. And I'm not saying he played bad, but like you're gonna go from an offense with Addison, Jefferson. Man, this man is cooking. Offense with Addison, Jefferson, Hawkinson to like an offense with what Pickens, Fryermuth. Like it's just I don't know. I think his best bet would to stay in would to stay in Minnesota would be his best bet. But I could see him going somewhere like Vegas, like you said, or just obviously just someone that needs a quarterback that is gonna probably overpay for him.
Facts. I agree. Um, I don't know what Vegas is gonna do. But if Sam Darnold doesn't go back to Minnesota, doesn't go to the Raiders, I don't really know. Trying to think of a spot. I mean, was there another spot that he was linked to?
I mean, I've heard stuff about the Giants, but I don't know,
Maybe
man.
I don't know. I just think his best bet, if the Raiders aren't committing to him, would be, or he could go to the Jets. But I mean, I don't really know, bro. I'm just kind of, I don't know. Like, I don't think if you're Minnesota, you bring him back because, like, ideally, he's probably you're not going to the Super Bowl with him. That's just what it is. Like, I think you need to get JJ in there as soon as possible to get him developed and start his development. But I think he'll have a market. You could have the Jets, the Saints could be teams that want to get him. I think a team like the Colts maybe will be in the mix. I mean, I'm just spitballing teams here. Maybe Seattle talking about it that they could explore possibly the trading Geno. So you don't really know, but yeah, man.
He also kind of gives me that same vibe as Juno. I'm not saying he's the same quarterback as Juno, but like that same situation where like his career was like kind of written off a little bit, and then he went and signed with
Mm-hmm.
a team that kind of gave him the shot. And then I mean, again, the Seahawks. I mean, the receivers are crazy, especially when Geno was in his first year. It just gives me that same vibe that like he might stay in Minnesota and kind of try to take a 2-3 year deal. But then at that point, it's like it would be kind of dumb. Like, why did you draft JJ McCarthy with a first round pick?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my whole thing with it is like you drafted this guy with a first round pick who you obviously can see some sort of future. And I mean, I guess Rogers sat for a couple years too. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It just
Yeah, they talking about short term, but I wouldn't
yeah.
even. I just feel like I feel like you got to get the ball rolling on JJ. You just got to like bro. He crumbled in the playoffs, bro. Like it was bad. But yeah, I don't man. We'll see that. We gonna see what happens with Sam Darnold. But
Mhm.
yeah, let's transition to the league, to the NBA. One now two things I want to go over. Let's go over the Mavericks. Just Kyrie Irving. I don't know if we talked about the last episode, but Kyrie Irving unfortunately tore his ACL. I know last episode we talked about Kevin Durant landing spots, and a lot of this predicated on Kyrie Irving, and he's got a big opt out year and whatever. He's got a player option, and it's just so unfortunate for him because the thing with Kyrie was he was set to make a 5-year, $313 million extension, $62 million a year for Kyrie. Well deserved and everything like that. And then he obviously, has his injury where he tears ACL, and now he's gonna be forced to really kind of opt into that deal. I mean, because if he doesn't opt into the deal, he's gonna have to take a significant amount of pay cut. You're gonna have to go to a new team and try to rehab from this injury. I think Kyrie's gonna opt in pretty early in the offseason now. And it's just unfortunate, man. It really is. This injury cost him a lot of money. And I'm not gonna lie to you. It's nobody really blame when someone gets hurt, but you just have to think if Dallas didn't run this man into the ground, if they don't like will we have seen and everyone's been talking about it. I mean, this is literally textbook 101 on how to destroy your franchise in 30 days. What the Dallas Mavericks have done is malpractice. Nico Harrison should be in a federal prison. And I'm not even joking. What him and that ownership have done to that franchise is a crime, bro. It's a crime for the fans. It's a crime for the former players. It's a crime for the current players on the team, bro. It's a crime. I mean, we're talking about you got a 25-year-old in his prime. You're coming off a finals run. You trade him for Anthony Davis. You bash him. Anthony Davis goes down. Not to mention, you trade Quentin Grimes. And you mean to tell me all the only guy in both of those trades is he tears his ACL. So now this 2-year window you had to win a title is now over. It's gone. Because not only is AD not coming back now because Kyrie's hurt, but Kyrie's hurt. And now you're forced now to do the right thing, which is pay Kyrie Irving this money, which in hindsight, and is no disrespect to Kyrie Irving, it's a bad investment. So now instead of being contending for a title in the next 10 to 12 years, you're now forced to pay veteran guys who are in their mid to late 30s top dollar, and you're not going to win any title. And you have to pay them because you have to do right by them. You made these decisions. It's unfortunate and it's malpractice. Nico Harrison needs to be fired. The NBA needs to conduct a interview in the mental state, in the mind, because I'm watching Luka Doncic right now hitting clutch shots for the Lakers. There needs to be a not a what's it called, an investigation. It needs to be it needs to be an investigation. This man Ryan walked off. It needs to be an investigation right now because I'm pretty sure something crazy just happened in the Laker
Oh
game.
my god,
What
yo.
happened, bro? Hold on, man. What did this man Luca just do? Oh my god. Oh my god. Like I said, there needs to be
Oh
an
my
investigation.
god.
Oh my god, the timing can't be better. There needs to be an Luca just hit like a 35 footer over Cat. There needs to be an investigation into what the Dallas Mavericks have done. It's malpractice. It's organizational malpractice, and it's bad for the league. People like that shouldn't be in the NBA. What I'm watching right now, it shouldn't even be happening. Like what the like it's literally like trade override was put on 2K. When you know what I'm talking about, Ryan? How you play my league, my NBA, and you put trade override on, you make any trade you want. That like this is literally what's happening. It's I feel bad for the Maverick fans. I feel bad for the Maverick players. I mean, prayers out to Kyrie Irving, but I I don't think not only have we never seen this, but I don't think we'll ever see this again. And I hope later down the line they just say the league made us do this trade and A B C D E F G. But Nico Harrison and Dumont and them, they need to be removed from that organization. They have ruined the Dallas Mavericks. They've ruined them. I went back. I was making a video today. I think you saw the video I made. And I'm going back and I'm watching the highlights of that Mavericks team last year. How do you break that up? How do you get rid of that? How do you look at that team and say we can't win with this guy? I have to. I literally got to sit there and just it's ridiculous. But go ahead, Ryan. And I already know you're gonna be happy and ecstatic and all this shit because Luka's got 32 right now and he's just hitting basically half court shots contested. But go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean the trade aged extremely bad from the second that you even made that trade. We already knew the trade was kind of like everyone's been saying. Everybody has been saying that the Mavs had to win something. You have to win the championship in these next 2 years, and you can kiss the championship's hopes goodbye right now for this year. And next year
it's over.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's you essentially traded Luka for hopes next year to win one championship next year in that 1 year. It don't make sense, man. Thank you so much for giving us Luka, cause yeah, man, it's great. It's also again, it's awful luck. I mean, like you said, you were essentially running Kyrie into the ground, and he tore his ACL. It's stuff like that. So finicky. Like you can't say, oh, that's the reason. But I mean, like overworking him too isn't gonna help it either.
I don't think Kyrie tears ACL if Luka's playing on that team right now. I just don't think that it's the way he like Kyrie had to play. Oh my God, I thought Luka's finna shoot a half court again. I mean, we're talking about someone who's literally like, I don't know. It's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
again, it is awful luck, and also I sometimes people are. I mean, they did get AD back. AD's an amazing, great player, but he's not Luka. You know, he's not Luka. So like, I don't know, bro. This might go down as the worst trade in NBA history, bro. Like
sports.
Yeah, sports.
It's sports history.
I don't know that one trade. I think it was the Saints that made for her. They traded like all their picks, every single pick they had for the running back.
Nah, bro, this is worse. The Lakers can go win a championship this year. I don't care what anyone. Jackson Hayes, bro. First of all, the pass he just made is nuts. But anyways, he's been the best defensive center in basketball since they made this trade.
See,
the Lakers
that's what I don't get. My fault. You got it. I interrupted you. My fault.
No. I'm just saying y'all can go win a chip right now. Like, see, here's what people don't understand. You have the best. Luka is the top 2 player in the game, if not the best player in the league when healthy. You can say whatever the fuck you want about SGA. I love SGA. Jokic, Luka Doncic. Come on, bro. We talking about he's the best when it comes in the playoffs. They can go win a title with him. You now have LeBron. Let me tell you something about Boston. They was able to stop Kyrie. You're not stopping LeBron, bro. You're not stopping LeBron. No, bro. With Luka next to him, are you crazy? Reeves? Bro, I don't care. I don't care if they got Drew. Hey, man, I'm going to pull a Shannon. I don't care if they got who they got over there. Like Shannon say, what he said, OKC, KFC, UFC, Lakers in 5. Bro, I don't care what Boston got going on. I think Boston a great team. I'm not saying that Lakers will beat them, but bro, this is just crazy. Like it's malpractice. It's nothing but malpractice. They need to be investigated. Nico Harrison, and when he gets fired, he does not need to be anywhere near basketball ever again. I wish. Do you know the Spurs interviewed him when they had their open GM job a few years ago? Can you imagine? And if we would have chose him over our GM Brian Wright, he would have traded Wembanyama. He would have said we need offensive talent. I would have lost my mind. Oh my God. And it's just frustrating because I'm looking at Luka and I'm like, man, the Spurs, y'all had a chance to get Luka Doncic. I would have said, look, hold on. We'll give y'all everybody else besides Victor Wembanyama. I would have gutted the team. I love Stephon Castle. I gave us Castle, Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Sohan. I'd give it the whole squad. If you said for us to say fuck this year, but we get Luka Doncic and we get Wemby heading into next year with cap space, oh come on, man, what are we talking about right now? But yeah, it's just it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then this is a perfect transition into our next topic. Um,
Ooh.
a report came out today, and I texted to you earlier. A report came out today. I think was it Sam? Yes, Sam Amico from the Athletic. I think that's his name. Sam Amico from the Athletic. He's a senior NBA writer, whatever. He came out a report saying naming the teams that are supposed to be on the front lines. Oh, Brunson down. Expected to pursue Kevin Durant in the offseason. The four teams included were the Lakers, the Mavericks, the Spurs, and the Heat. I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's go ahead and eliminate two teams out of that. Let's go ahead and eliminate the Heat and the Mavericks. The Mavericks literally cannot trade for Kevin Durant. They can't. And we all know that man Kevin Durant is not going to go to Miami. He wants to go win a title. Ryan, how did we get here?
Man, it always seems like, especially
It's
this
always
year.
it's
Yeah.
always our two teams.
It feels like it's always that shit. Always that shit. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, low key, like obviously, I would love KD. It would just depend on how much you'd have to give up for him and what you'd have to give up for him.
I don't care. If it ain't Castle, if it ain't Fox, and if it ain't Victor Wembanyama, bye. I don't. Do you understand what'll happen if we get Kevin Durant? You know how I will what I would lose my mind with. But I had to put out this report though that the Lakers were listed as a team. If Kevin Durant goes to the Lakers somehow, some way, because I don't even think it's possible. Which I don't even think it's possible because I don't think y'all got the picks. Y'all don't got the young player capital. I don't know who y'all would give up. But I'm gonna just say it regardless. If y'all were to get Kevin Durant, oh y'all are winning the championship. I'm letting you. I'm just y'all are winning the title. But I don't think he's going to the Lakers. I don't think y'all have the necessary things to give up to him, which leaves one. Well, it leaves three teams realistically. And like I said last time, I gave my teams in the last episode. The Grizzlies, the Spurs, OKC will be my top three teams to get him. But it's looking like, and I'm not even saying it to be biased, but it's looking like the Spurs might really be interested in getting Kevin Durant. And I have to say it. I live in Houston, Texas. I would seriously consider moving to San Antonio. Seriously consider. I know Ryan's gonna laugh at that, but I'm so dead serious. I will seriously consider getting season tickets if we have De'Aaron Fox, Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, and Kevin Durant. But in all seriousness, the Spurs will most likely be in contention for a championship. If he goes to a team like Dallas, which is impossible, I don't think it really moves the needle for them, honestly. I think they get better, but I don't think they could win a title. I just don't trust the health of Anthony Davis. I just don't. That's just me. But I mean, in Kyrie Irving off this ACL, it just doesn't seem likely for that. The Miami Heat are contenders. OKC is a team I think that might try to sneak in there, but honestly, just like I don't think OKC. I don't like. I think if the Suns were to trade with OKC, they're gonna play hardball. They're gonna ask for a guy like J Dub. They're gonna ask for one of their key players, and I just don't know if you're OKC if you're willing to give that up because realistically, they're gonna have to come off of probably because they're the highest paid players is you got Lou Dort, Shea Gilgis, and Jalen Williams. I don't know if he got extended or not. I don't know what his contract is like. But I know this year he's only making $4 million. But they're probably gonna want J Dub in a deal for KD. If they don't give up J-Dub, they're going to have to give up a lot of their key role players, probably Isaiah Joe and Lou Dort. You're going to have to come off a lot of guys to match that Kevin Durant contract. I think Isaiah Hartenstein might be in that trade too as well. Because Kevin Durant next year is set to make, $54 million? So, I mean, hey, He's coming at a high price, not to mention he wants an extension. So it's gonna be a team. It has to be a team. And they were saying Minnesota. I think Minnesota's a team too, but we'll see where Kevin Durant goes. But I'm just glad my Spurs are in the mix, and I hope Brian Wright's like we go all in. I just hope we go all in. But what's your thoughts on KD, Ryan?
I agree with you. I don't think he's gonna go to the Lakers. It would be cool, but again, it would be all about what you have to give up for him. I don't think he's gonna go to the Heat either. And what was the other team? You said the Mavs. Yeah, no, I can't really see him going to the Mavs either. So I mean,
It was the Lakers, Mavs, Heat, and Spurs that was listed.
See, again, I do think later in especially in the offseason, there's going to be other teams that are going to be interested in it that we'll probably start hearing. But I mean, out of those teams, those 4 specific teams, I do think the Spurs probably got the best possibility to get him. Again with the Lakers, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, obviously KD would be amazing. He'd be great. He's a great player. But it's all about what you have to give up. And yeah, again, I'm not trying to say anything bad about KD. KD's an amazing player. He's still amazing, especially at his age. But yeah, out of those 4 teams, I do think the Spurs would probably be the best option for him. Again, I also do think that Timberwolves would be a solid option for him as well. I just don't know if they'd be able to and what they'd have to give up for him. But
they would have to give up basically Randall.
Mm-hmm.
They can keep Gobert, so it would have to be like Randall. I think Nikhil, and some picks. But it's really what Phoenix wants, because if you're Phoenix, it depends on what you value more. Like the Spurs can give you young players and picks.
True.
The thing is, the reason why I like the Spurs is the best option is because they don't have to give up key pivotal players to where like you go to OKC for the contract, you have to give up somebody of value. Like there's no way you can make this trade without, because I'm trying to see what, let me go look at OKC's books for next year.
You know what? I'm rooting for you guys to get KD. I want to see you move down to San Antonio. I want to see you get season tickets, and you're gonna get the insight of every single game. Be able to come over here and talk about every single game. I'm rooting for him to go to San Antonio. Because if he goes to San Antonio, man, you were saying, Ryan, you think I'm joking. I'm gonna buy them season tickets. I want to see if you buy them.
I ain't gonna lie. I would be like, it's definitely something that's on the table, 100%. Like, but the thing is, here's the thing about that though. It's like, part of me is joking, and part of me is not, because like we will be the Showtime. Like we're talking about essentially, and it's basically like a super team in a way. Like I would lose my mind. Like once, if I ever get notification that Kevin Durant ever became a San Antonio Spur, I lose my mind. But I mean, realistically, like Minnesota, like OKC, I'm looking at their books for next season. And the cap, like they have cap space, but it's like, who do you give up for KD? Like, okay, so say for example, so they would probably most likely the 2 guys that will be involved in the trade, you'll be Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe. And you got to give up those picks. So this will be primarily a pick trade, but you have to send out salary. The only guy on the team that's like making big, I mean, you could give up Caruso, but I think Caruso is very pivotal to them though. I don't think you get Kevin Durant, you want to come off of Alex Caruso as well as giving up Lou Dort and Isaiah Joe. You're giving up 2 of your big time defenders. And like it's just because a lot of guys still on rookie deal. Jalen Williams is still on his rookie deal. I forgot they had Nikola Topic. I forgot they drafted, bro. They got him coming in next year. Jesus Christ. You got Cason Wallace. He's still on his $5 million year next season. So I mean, like Caruso's making 18, Lou Dort's making 17, and Isaiah Hartenstein's making 28.5. So one of those 3 guys are going to be, if not 2 of those guys are going to be in a trade for Kevin Durant. And I just don't know if OKC is going to want to gut their team. Not to mention if that relationship is even solvable. So cut them out of it. So if you cut them out of the equation, it just really makes sense for the Spurs. And it's right there. And I don't think you don't have to give up an insane amount to get him too if you're San Antonio.
Yeah, also for OKC, I also think I wouldn't be surprised if, let's say, OKC loses like somehow like first round or like even in the second round. I do wonder how aggressive they would be to try to make a big move like that. But yeah, I mean, I think San Antonio would be a great fit for him. Don't get me wrong.
Because he could legit be the second second option with him and Fox.
I just do really. I don't know. It's more. I guess it's more the fan. I would like to see him in Minnesota. And again, I do think, like you said, they can give up Randall, probably a couple other draft picks. They're obviously gonna have to go up somebody else, but there's no way in hell they're trading him to the Lakers. You know.
Oh
No,
no.
no.
Yeah, I think realistically, bro, I think it's only like I'm even looking at Memphis, and I don't see Memphis coming off Bane for him. I don't see Memphis coming off Bane. I don't see them coming off Jaren Jackson. It's really only like two teams I think that can realistically, unless a team come out of nowhere, like, but I think there's maybe only two teams that I think can realistically go get him. And that's San Antonio and Cleveland. Those are just really my two teams.
Yeah, I mean, I don't got nothing else to say. I do think it's kind of dumb for them to have the Lakers in that report personally, but whatever.
Well, they're gonna do it just to,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, just build up the hype that this man could legit be a Laker, but he ain't gonna be no Laker. But yeah, man. That's really all I want to talk about with the league. We'll talk. We're gonna do another NBA video later. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment, hit that subscribe button. Keep showing us love. I'm your host JMX. My co-host Ryan. To the next one. Peace.